It's me. We're back. It's all great. What's going on here is that um, I am kind of trying to get the things that I need for the month ahead onto paper, and to be honest, it was only like partially successful. Um, this is kind of rare and fun, a sneak peek into my school planner, which I used to write down some of my like practicum dates that were farther ahead, and then I'm just like transferring them over into my actual journal here. I am like almost a week behind in my journal as per usual, as I record this. So basically I haven't really touched this notebook since I recorded the plan with me, which is great. But I'm really trying. I don't understand what it is where I just don't go back to it for like full days at a time, sometimes full weeks at a time. And I don't know if that's that my room is so crowded that I don't have a space to like have it out and open all the time, or that it's like within a cover so it's harder to access, or that I am just so busy. Maybe it's that I'm not going to the library to do homework anymore. Something unfortunate that happened was that my school redid the library while I was abroad, and basically now there's like no natural light in there because they blocked off all the walls with windows to turn them into study rooms. So now it's like super dark and depressing in the library. Terrible design. They should have consulted me. And it might have been better. But now I do homework in my room a lot, and usually what would happen was that I would take my bullet journal out at the library as like a form of procrastinating doing homework, and do that instead of getting started on homework, and that was when I would get a lot of my bullet journaling to happen. So maybe it's that I'm still just being too ambitious, even with my smaller dailies. The problem is that I don't go back to it every day, and I'm gonna try harder to figure out how to make that happen, because it's important to me. But still, I'm only like 5 days behind, so I can catch up, and I will. Yeah, so what you saw me do there just now, I mean, besides cutting out the library note card pad, whatever, is that little sticky note up in the top right corner, and that was basically me trying to like keep track of all the things that I wanted to get done for this month, like aside from school stuff, because I like to be really ambitious, perhaps overly ambitious about the things that I can accomplish while also going to school. But life is now, so I don't want to wait to do the things that I want to do. I want to keep up with my school responsibilities, but also like chase my dreams. So there. Basically, I just made a list of priorities for my shop and for my home life, things that I am just planning on having happen this month. Yeah. I've been trying to release new designs in my shop more frequently, because I find that is when I get like the influx of orders, is when I list something new. And I'm really kind of trying to ramp up what I'm doing with my shop, because for some reason it has just been a really, really big slump in the month of February, and I'm trying to figure out how to like just get more orders, garner more excitement, like make my products better, just make everything better. So I've been like experimenting with all kinds of different things, like how I format my listings, the like 35 plus dollar orders, getting free shipping, because apparently that like makes your listings show up higher on the searches. I don't completely understand how it works. So I'm just kind of like experimenting with different things. Yeah. Because I want to do this. I want to like do this, semi-professional art thing and be good at it. Kind of before this month, all that I had been focusing on was just making my products as good as I possibly could. And now I am branching out into like figuring out more marketing stuff almost, which is something that I've always been like really wary of, because I feel like if I'm spending all this time on marketing, then I'm not like creating the best products I can. But it has to be done. It has to be done. And I'm kind of trying to figure out like what that looks like for me and for my brand. I've always kind of been like of the opinion that like if I make something good, then it will happen. Like people don't like owe me sales or their money or anything. That's not how it works. But I want to still focus on like doing the best art that I possibly can while making my stickers and things, but also like just getting it in front of more eyes so that more people that might be interested in it get a chance to see it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even though for a while I thought like that was weird or wrong, but it's not. I was not being like realistic about the way that business works, I think. But yeah, basically I've just been like trying a bunch of stuff with that. So I think that maybe that's why I haven't been keeping up with my journal as much, because my creative like brain power is going elsewhere. It's funny, like as far as creativity, I wasn't like super happy with the way that this like March spread turned out as I was doing it. I was like, I really didn't like that tree there. I still think it could have been better executed, but now that I'm like watching it back, I'm really happy with the like way that it looks with the rest of the layout and the way that it goes across the 2 pages. Yeah, I don't really know what I needed with this spread. I think that was part of the problem, because I made that big list of like my priorities and stuff that I wanted to happen, and I wish that I'd like gone on and made a second sticky note with like things that I thought would help me to have in my bullet journal as far as those priorities. And now that I'm looking back on it, that would have been really smart. But you know what? I'm just watching Rachel do her thing, and she's trying her best, and that's all she can do. So it's fine. And I can always add more collections in. That's something that I really do like about this like new, more fluid layout style that I've been using, is that I like have the space to add stuff in like that if I want, because all you have to do is flip a page and your dailies can like snake around it, and it's fine and it's great and it works and it looks good. And the only problem is that I don't open my journal every day, which like, I never wanted to have to admit that, but yep, it's the truth. I do not open my bullet journal every day, even though I have dailies for every day. It just ends up being me going back and journaling about it, because I'll get into this routine of like waking up and like going and doing fun things and then being too tired to write about it, but wanting to like have that memory in there, and then I just don't write in it, and then I get even more behind. So I don't really know about like what that's all about. I almost think that maybe like the way that I journal is like boring me subconsciously, like the way that I write sentences and like talk about things that I enjoy is like getting boring to me, and it's like, oh, I petted Cora, I loved it, I love her, but like I write that like every day, and so how to like express in writing what made that particular thing special that particular day is maybe what I need to look at. I don't know, do any of you guys have tips about like journaling about day-to-day things when sometimes it's the same thing day after day? Like how you differentiate between what makes each thing special without like writing tons and tons. I mean, do you get what I'm like going for? I'm not even entirely sure I get what I'm going for. That might be part of the problem. Yeah. Right now I am in the last semester of like me being in classes that are being taught to me, because next semester I'll be student teaching and like I'll be teaching the classes and like doing this EdTPA portfolio that sounds like an absolute nightmare. But like we'll see, it might be fine. I'm getting super nervous about that, and I might like try to journal about that, because that's something that's like in my head being stressful every single day. Is that I am super worried about what student teaching is going to be like next semester, because what I hear from everybody is that it is so exhausting. Like you get back at 3:30 and you're just dead on your feet, like done for the day. And I am worried that when I student teach, I'm going to like lose the mental health that I have reclaimed since graduating high school. Lose it by, overworking myself and being going all day, every day, staying after school for prepping lessons. You hear horror stories. When I was in one of my practicum experiences for a shorter period of time, there was a girl who was student teaching at that school, and we would see her, and then somebody else was like talking about what she was up to, and they were like, yeah, she stays till like 9 o'clock every night getting stuff ready. And I was like, she what now? Because like, I'm just gonna be honest right now, that does not work for me. Like, I am a person too. I need to be able to do other things, and I want to do other things, and I'm trying to figure out where my novel writing and my Etsy shop are going to fit into student teaching. Because they're amazing, but they are like also a lot of work and very tiring. And what I need is time to rest, and I need time to pursue like my creative endeavors. And then time to be with my like family and friends and cut loose and live my life and feel like a human being. And so what's going to be the key is figuring out, I think ahead of time, like how I can get all of those things that I need to like feel happy in my life to fit in with this like apparently exhausting student teaching schedule, because you're in school all day every day. It's basically like having a teaching job, except you're not getting paid, which I mean I can and have gone on at length about what is messed up about the education system, and I think that that is definitely part of it, because I should not be working for free. That's not cool. But it's what I gotta do. There's not much I can do about it at this stage of my education. So, yeah. Now that I've been like talking about it out loud, I think that maybe the key to this like whole like creative life versus rest versus personal life versus student teaching might be not to have like goals about what I want to accomplish like I usually do in my shop and in my writing and in my art, but instead to have like goals of spending time on something, and it gets done when it gets done, but the point is that I get to work on it and I get to spend that creative time. I hope so. I hope so. I'm just really scared, and I'm worried. Like, I'm worried that I'm gonna be a bad teacher because I'm so, like, focused on doing what I need to do and what'll help, but not necessarily, like, too much more than what is absolutely necessary. I don't know, because you always like hear people saying it's amazing, they're prioritizing their students and their teaching, and going the extra mile every time and going above and beyond, doing more than the bare minimum. And I'm over here like, well, like I've been there, I've done that. That was what I did when I was a high school student, and it like destroyed my mental and physical health, and I'm not really too keen to head back down that slippery slope. So basically I think that this student teaching thing is going to be a test of everything that I've learned over the past few years about how to take care of myself and treat myself like somebody I love, like somebody who's more than like a work object. I think, I don't know, I'm just worried that I'm gonna like fail the test and like fall back into a really unhealthy cycle of like wanting to be praised and getting my like sustenance from other people telling me I'm doing well rather than like feeling good and enjoying my own life. Yeah, nope, that's exactly what I'm worried about. And then I'm also worried about like what comes after student teaching, and like, oh my gosh, then I'm graduated and I have to get a job and like pay rent and stuff, and I don't know. I think teaching is a good fit for me because I'm super passionate about like education issues and about like just children and, you know, helping them succeed. But I will not lie, a big bonus to me is that I get the summers off and I get to like work on my own personal projects, because I think that like at this point in my life I have to come to terms with this one truth about myself, and that is that I hate being told what to do. I hate it. I think I've always been the kind of person that is destined to, at one point in their life, be self-employed, um, because I like really thrive on being able to like follow my own passions and like set my own schedule and like be at home, be like with the dog, you know? I mean, I mean, not always. We just got Cora like last year, but you know what I mean. I like getting to control my schedule and surroundings and the direction that I'm going. I love that. I think I have like pretty good instincts when it comes to working for myself and following like my own intuition. And so I think that like eventually it's going to be a really good thing for me. But I also like love the stuff that I do with teaching. Honestly, eventually I think I would like to write like an educational research book, because there are so many things about school that I'm so passionate about. And I think that that would like nicely kind of marry a lot of my interests. But I also like want to have an online shop, and I also like want to publish my novel, and at this point it's just like kind of figuring out where life is going to take me first. Yeah. I wrote that whole long quote there because ever since I've been home, I've been like missing my family a lot, which sounds kind of silly now that I'm back from France. Like I miss my family, but now I know that like it's possible for me to be with them, except that they're an hour and away and I don't have a car, so they would have to come get me or come be with me. But it just sucks every time I have to leave home after the weekend and come back up to school, because it's so sad, you guys. Like Cora, the day that I go back to school, she's always on edge. Like every time I put on my coat, she'll like come up and like sit by me and just have the saddest puppy dog eyes. Like, are you leaving me for a week again? When are you coming back? And I feel so guilty because I did leave for 4 months, and every time I leave, I worry that she thinks that that's how long I'm going to be gone again. So yeah, that song lyric there from Love Like You is for her. Yeah. Basically, yeah, that's what's going through my head right now. I hope that this spread inspired you in some way, and or you were able to relate to what I talked about. Let me know, yeah, just let me know how things are, what you're thinking about, what's in your head right now. And yeah, that's basically all I have for you. I hope that your March is wonderful, and I will see you soon, hopefully with my Etsy shop video.